Hi, in this video we're going to look a little bit about how to design a custom PowerPoint, make it a little easier instead of just selecting a lot of text and constantly changing its font and its color, etc. So we're going to look at how to do that and a couple of other tricks using the Slide Master. So to get to the Slide Master, simply go to View, Slide Master, and this is showing you the template on which the PowerPoints are built. This is the main template, the most common slide, and these are some sub-templates that you could choose to just adjust individually. Let's start with the main template and see how that works. So right now it's showing you the title block. It's showing you down at the bottom a footer where you might put a date, slide number, etc., or other information in there. And this is how the template is blocked out at present. It also gives you first level, second level, third, fourth, and fifth level formatting based on indent. So showing you how far they're indented, sizes, etc., sizes of the text, etc. So let's start by doing some basic design. You have a lot of different options here. You could pick a theme and then modify that theme from the get-go. There are color schemes you can pick from, or you can customize and design your own. So let's just pick this red one. Background styles. And by picking format background, you can choose whether you're going to have a solid fill. And if you are, you could simply pick a color. And you notice now that my theme colors are all available to me here. So by picking the colors up here, it kind of keeps me in the same family. It does a little work for me up front. If not, I can choose things outside of that theme or go to more colors. I can even use the eyedropper. But picking a theme is not a bad idea because it takes a lot of the work out of it for you. But let's just say that I'm going to pick, this is my background color. Now I can do that. I can also just go to gradient. And in this gradient, you can see how it blends from lighter to darker. And that's all built with these gradient stops over here. So by adjusting those, you can see the effect that it has. I can also take any one of them and adjust the color of that. And this is just telling you which colors are involved. Let me click on the third stop. And then how those colors are blended across the slide. Okay, you can also pick a direction. So this is going left to right. This is going top to bottom. This is going diagonally, etc. You can pick radial, which is based on a center point and a radius. Linear. Rectangular. Don't see that one used too often. And then you can actually design your own path. Okay, I'm just going to stick with a simple linear. There are some preset gradients you can choose from. Alternately, you can put a pattern in there. When you do pick a pattern, this is a foreground color on the pattern, and this is the background color, so you're not locked into I haven't found too much use for that. It's a little busy for the most part, but it is available. And there's also picture or text fill. Now, by default, it's going to come up with a text. There are different features you can apply here. But usually when people are using this, they're going to go to File and select a picture. And so there's one now. Now obviously with a picture you have to be very, very careful. You can see right away that the text is not particularly readable over this in a lot of places. So you could take these blocks if you wanted and give them a a color, even if that was a white color. You can see, but once I give them a color, they're easier to write on. Of course, that would pretty much negate the picture that I chose here. So a lot of times with picture as a background, you've got to be pretty careful. It's kind of hard to do. You have to have just the right picture. Okay, so I'm going to go back to gradient fill. Well, this is not terribly nice, but I'll choose it. I'll pick it for expediency's sake. Okay, other things that you can do is you could adjust the width of this box. You could insert a picture or something right into there. Let's see. Let's take one of those minion pictures. It's rather big, so I'll make it smaller. Try to get it to match up. There you go. Of course, with that picture, I have formatting options. I can put a picture border on it. There's a black just to make it sharp. Make it stand out a little bit. I can also adjust my fonts, etc. So now that I'm on this master, let me undo that. I am going to pick a font. I can leave it at 44 if I want, or I can change the size, I can change the color, etc. And you can see that as I step down here, this was preset to a 44. My top level bullet point is a 28, going to a 24, going to a 20, 18, and then remaining at 18. So I can change the fonts for those if I like. As a matter of fact, I can do that in mass. That's a little heavy, so I'll just go with this lighter font as opposed to a thick one I use for the title. And I can adjust the title here. I can say, you know what, I wanted that really to be a 32. Maybe bring this down to a 28. So I'm going to increase them all by 1 level. There's 24, 20. I'll leave that one at 18. So the 5th level is now slightly smaller. Let's go to View. Go to Normal View and see what that looks like. And when I insert a new slide, okay, so you can see the basics here. If I return to the master and click on the first, there are other things you can do as well. So I could select this box. You know what? I generally like the title to be on the slide when the slide comes on the page, but perhaps I want these to be animated. And of course I can animate them in the presentation itself one at a time. But I can also just pick an animation here and say, let's say fly in from left. And let's just leave it at that for now and see what happens. Normal view. Go into my presentation. And you can see that it's now not necessary for me to set any of those animations. So if you want something very consistent, that's a possibility. The other thing that I can do is I can apply my transitions right here. Now transitions are not generally something that are very difficult because you can apply them to all, especially if they're going to be consistent. So it's not a huge time saver. But by applying them here, you kind of ensure that they will be consistent. Sorry, I forgot this apply to all. Okay, and that's going to bring it down to all my sub templates. Now, if there's something in particular you want to do, and do notice here that the sub templates picked up all of this formatting. If there is something that you'd like to create, and you don't see a template here, but there's something you want to have happen, you can always take one of these templates, copy it, and make an additional template that will become available to you. So let's see. Resize that guy, put him over here. Okay, let's keep it simple for now. I can also rename that layout. So that particular layout is going to be Rich's layout. Or maybe I'll add an animation to it. So we'll just say, let's make an entrance effect, dissolve in, okay. And we'll go back to view normal. Well, nothing's there yet because I haven't created a slide with that, but when I make a new slide, layout's available to me right there. And when I preview my presentation, my first click will bring in that animation. So you get the idea. It's it can take some playing around. If you play around with it, there are a lot of different options. And if it's something you're interested in, then give it a try.